In this lesson, we'll set up our blinking controls. What we'll do is go ahead and create custom parameters, and we'll have them added to our main eye controller. What we'll do is go ahead and create an attribute holder so that when the animator is ready to work with those attributes, they don't have to deal with all of these other properties tied to this object. Alright, so with this selected, we can go to our modifier list and press the A key until we find the attribute holder. I've also added it to my quad menu. Here it is. So that's another cool feature that we want added, because we'll probably use this quite a bit whenever we create a custom parameter. Again, we don't want to have to deal with all of these other properties, so we can just simply add an attribute holder. And now we have a clean slate to work with. And we can add attributes, of course, to this set. Let's go ahead and have this renamed. I'll go ahead and right click and choose rename. And its new name will be Extra Controls. Alright, wonderful. So from here, we can go in and create a set of custom attributes that we'll use to drive the eyelids. So we can do this a few ways. If we press Alt-1, we can access the parameter editor that way. Or we can go to Animation and grab it from here. Alright, so now let's go ahead and create a set of 4 custom parameters. So we'll have 2 for each eye. We'll start with the left eye. So heading over to our name field, that's going to be L underscore upper lid. Now the range, we'll have this set to a great value to give animators a lot of room. Chances are we won't go this far with the value here, but again, we have enough room in case we decide to. So the from field will be set to -360 and to +360. Great, everything else looks good. If you were to take a look at the bottom, you can test out your attribute. Let's go ahead and click on Add, and there we have it. If you ever need to modify this for whatever reason, you can go ahead and click on Edit Delete with the object selected that has the custom parameter. From there, you can go ahead and highlight the parameter you'd like to modify. Take a look, its properties load in right here, so you can start to change your values. And then, very important, you'd want to click Accept Parameter Changes and then Apply Changes in order to make sure all of your modifications are set. If you decide to remove the parameter, again, you delete the parameter and then you would choose Apply Changes. If you don't do that, nothing's going to change. If we were to go back to Edit Delete, the parameter still exists. Alrighty. So let's say we go ahead and create a parameter to control the lower lid. So we'll name this L underscore lower lid. It's nice that 3ds Max remembers our range. So all we need to do now is click on Add. Alright, so we have 2 more to add. Let's go ahead and add those. That's going to be R underscore upper lid. And then R lower lid. Alright, sweet. So how do we add these to our expression? Well, all we need to do is go in and create variables, and then we'll make sure that we add those variables to our expression. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to it. If you would like, you can go ahead and hide the face, just to get to those spawn objects a bit faster. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and show you this for the left side, because the right side uses the exact same steps. So we'd go in, grab the eye bone, and we'd head over to our motion panel. From there, we'd go ahead and find our rotation Z controller. Let's go ahead and right click and choose properties. Alright, sweet. So from here, we can now go in and create a variable. So we can name this something along the lines of, let's say, upper lid. Now we can go in and click Create and assign it. So we'll choose Assign to Controller. Let's expand the net control, and from there we'll find our eye controller here. Let's go ahead and expand the inside to get to its properties, and that's going to be Modified Object, Extra Controls, Custom Attributes, and we'll now go ahead and find upper lid. There it is. So we're now going to click on OK. And then, very important, in order to make sure everything gets evaluated the right way, we'll go ahead and concatenate flesh eye times 0.5. So we'll put that in parentheses. That way, this will be evaluated, and then whatever we add to this. So now, we'll go ahead and add upper lid. So it's going to be flesh eye times 0.5 plus upper lid. Now, when we click evaluate, take a look. When we go ahead and grab that control object, head back to the modify panel, and we start to use our parameter, you can see, there we go, we're controlling that bone object. Now, right now, the control is pretty great. How do we start to dim that down a bit? Well, we can go ahead and convert degrees to radians. So once we do that, we'll notice that it's going to give us much finer control. So it won't be as harsh. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We'll grab the eye bone, and we'll head back to our expression controller. Great. Now from here, let's go ahead and find the upper lid variable, and we'll go ahead and put that in parentheses. So the function that we add, it will affect whatever we have in parentheses here. Now, just before our parentheses, we're ready to add our function, deg2rad. If you're confused as to how to create this function, it's just a matter of going to your function list and take a look. We find it here, as well as a whole list of other functions that are super useful. So here we have it, deg2rad, lowercase d, capital T for 2, capital R for rad. So just before our parentheses, we'll go ahead and type that in, deg2rad. And now when we evaluate this, watch, we can go back to our controller, and we can start to move the upper lid, and now the control is much better. Sweet. So if you wanted to bring the character back to test this out, there we have it. So not only can we add an offset with this, but watch, we can still go to our control object and start moving that around. There we go. It's all additive. How fun is that? Cool. So I'll go ahead and right-click on the upper lid to go ahead and zero that back out. And we can now take care of the lower lid, which is honestly the exact same. So again, I'll just walk you through this, and then you'll be able to take care of the right side. All right, so with the lower lid selected, we'll go to our motion panel. We'll go ahead and find the rotation Z, right-click and choose properties. Let's go ahead and create our variable. We can call this lower lid. Choose create, assign to controller. There it is, L lower lid. All right, so now we'll go ahead and concatenate flesh eye times negative 0.2. And then we'll go ahead and add deg2rad. We're going to put our parentheses. Let's go ahead and copy the name of our variable and paste it inside of our parentheses. Let's now evaluate this. Go back to our control object, and we'll start to test this out. So we should be able to move the lower lid, and we most certainly can. All right, super fun stuff. Great, so there we have it. We've managed to create a really cool fleshy eye rig, and then we've also managed to add more control on top of that so we can animate a blink. All right, well, I'll go ahead and leave the right side up to you, and in the next lesson, we'll go ahead and work on adding a control to drive the nostrils.